Hey, everybody, this is Ralph, and I thought for today's spiritual stream, talk about where dreams go to die. Maybe not the most inspiring title, but I see this play out in the lives of other people, and I've seen it play out in my own life, sadly. But so many people will allow their dreams to die by just quitting too soon. And I mean, you really anything worthwhile in life is worth spending a few years to create, to nurture, to allow to grow. And so many times, so often in life, we approach things with a short term mindset, a real short term attitude where if we don't see results fast, we quit. We're out of there. There are a lot of things in life that require patience. A lot of things in life that requires a commitment of time, a substantial commitment of time. Raising a family is one of those things. A lot of times, you have a child, you do your best, you try to raise that child, you invest 15, 18, 20 years longer trying to raise that child, trying to do the right thing. And sometimes, we all screw up. We may screw up major league, make some major mistakes. But I mean, you don't just have a kid and then expect that kid to be running their own life within a week. Doesn't happen that way. Takes a lot longer. Planting a garden. You don't plant the seed and then expect to be harvesting tomatoes within a week or 2 weeks. Takes at least one season to get your first crop coming on. And then at the end of that season, you harvest your produce and celebrate. And we're in that season now, the harvest season, where a lot of people are gathering in, their crops and feeling happy that they have an abundance, or feeling sad because their crops may have failed and they're wondering, how do we get through the winter without our crops? And so many things in life really require a long-term commitment. And if you take one of those things and you enter into that with a short-term attitude, you are not going to be able to live the life of your dreams. A lot of people, they get married. They think very idealistically, this person is going to make me happy. It's your job to make you happy, to make me happy. That's their attitude. And maybe a week, maybe a month will go by and they'll think, you're not making me happy. So I got to go find my happiness someplace else. And there are marriages out there that don't last a week or a month or even the first couple of years, because people don't realize the level of commitment it takes to make a relationship work, to make a marriage work, to raise a family and to make a family work. And I mean, it just takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment. And if you are of the mindset where you want just instant gratification, instant karma, you're going to be sad. You're going to be watching your dreams die. Now, one thing that I like to compare dreams to is raising a bonsai tree. I got into the art of bonsai about 2 years ago. And before that, I liked to be growing trees, be growing plants, just for the heck of it. And then I began getting into bonsai and trying to do bonsai properly. And I'm still learning. But yeah, 2 years ago, I first got into raising bonsai trees. And before that, about 10 years ago, we started raising this little tree right here. This is a tree that we started growing quite by accident about 10, maybe 15 years ago, actually. And we had a little compost pile, and my wife would be throwing fruit rinds and seeds into the compost pile. And we noticed a little tree starting to grow up. For the longest time, we didn't know what this tree was. And for about the first 10 years of this little tree's life, we thought it was a lemon tree. And it was just a little green stem just growing straight up. It had no features to it. It was just a very tall green stem growing up with leaves on it. And that's all it really amounted to for the first 10 years of its life. Then about 2 years ago, I got into the art of bonsai and I started thinking, how can I start raising bonsai trees? And my wife gave me this tree that she started by accident. And she said, okay, experiment. Maybe you can do something with this. So, yeah, I took that little green stem that was about a yard high, and I very reluctantly started pruning it, started cutting it back, put it in a little strawberry pot, same strawberry pot it currently is in, and began bending it, began twisting it, began experimenting with it. And lo and behold, after I trimmed that thing back and twisted it a little bit to give it a little bit of an arch, it began to grow other branches in it. And this year, I repotted it. I trimmed the branches, and I'm seeing where it goes from here. But this little bonsai tree, such as it is, it's actually not a lemon tree. It's a grapefruit tree. And yeah, it's a little tropical grapefruit. And this has taken me over 10 years to get it to this point. I forget when we first noticed this thing growing in our compost pile, but I think it was actually more like about 15 years ago. So this thing has been a work in progress for over 10 years, probably more like 15 years. And I am still experimenting with it, still learning, still working with it. It's been a work in progress for the longest time. It will continue to be a work in progress as I continue to try to fashion this tree and create a beautiful bonsai from what used to be just a scrap tree growing in our compost pile. But I mean, and I've made mistakes on this thing. I don't know if you can see it right here, but I twisted some wires around it to try to bend the main branch, the main stem, the main trunk of this tree to give it like an arch. And I left the wires on too long, and you can see where the wires have cut into the tree, into the bark of what is going to be, what is right now and will remain to be the main trunk of this tree. And at first I was a little disappointed that I left the wires on too long and caused this scarring. But now the more I look at it, the more I think this adds character. This adds a little distinction to the tree. And I'm just going to let it be, let it grow, let it heal over, see what happens. But I mean, yeah, bonsai is definitely a long-term art, something that you have to commit to for a very, very long period of time. And I mean, this tree taken me over 10 years to bring it to that state. And I mean, the reason that I remain committed to this art is because I love the art. And I'm really not in any hurry to turn this into a beautiful, wonderful bonsai tree. Because in my mind right now, this is already a beautiful bonsai tree. It's a lot better than what it was when I first started it. But I mean, yeah, I want to grow it so much bigger, so much better, with a lot more variety, a lot more character to it than what it is now. But I mean, right now, I look at this bonsai tree and I think, yeah, that's my baby. It took me probably about 15 years of work to get it to this point, and it's going to be a work in progress for the rest of my life, keeping it alive, keeping it growing, training it and crafting it into the bonsai tree that it will become. But I mean, to me, that is worth it. A lot of people get into bonsai because they know bonsais can be valuable. I know another man, Peter Chen, and he operates his own bonsai nursery in the United Kingdom. And he got started in bonsai back in the 1960s. And he started from scratch. And now, many, 50 years later, how long has it been? 50, 60 years later, he has his own bonsai nursery. He has trees that he started 60 years ago, some of which are now selling for like tens of thousands of dollars. He says he has trees in his nursery that people would trade a luxury car for because they are that sought after. They are that expensive. They are that much of a rarity. And he has those trees because he dedicated a large portion of his life to learning how to do bonsai, crafting the bonsai, and growing the bonsai in a certain way, to where now he's got hundreds and hundreds of trees, some of which are worth thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. And for him, that didn't happen overnight. It happened because he took the time to build his dream, and he never gave up building that dream. And that's the lesson I want to leave us here with today, is that building your dream is going to take some time. And the bigger the dream, usually, general rule of thumb, usually the longer it's going to take to build that dream. But if you have a dream that is just so big, so bold, so beautiful that you don't want to see it die, my advice to you is do not give up. Think of your dream as a bonsai tree. If just a regular tree, if you plant it from a seed, it can take like 20 years to grow it into a big tree that people will be able to shelter under and enjoy the shade of and eat the fruits of. If it's a fruit-bearing tree, it may take 20 years just to grow a regular garden variety tree to the point to where, it's big enough to really enjoy the fruits thereof. And a bonsai tree, there are bonsais out there that have been alive for hundreds of years, that have seen, numerous caretakers. But I mean, they've been a work in progress from day one, and now 100, 200, 300, 700 years later, some of these trees are that old. They are still a work in progress, still a living form of art. View your dreams in the same way. If a dream is worth pursuing, it is worth dedicating your life to making that dream a reality. Build your dreams boldly, build your dreams with diligence, and spend the time it's going to take to build your dream right. And if you give up on your dreams after only a few weeks or only after a few months, that's where dreams go to die, right there. Impatience, the lack of a long-term commitment to your dreams. Giving up is where dreams go to die. Giving up too soon is really where dreams go to die. And if you have a dream that you want to see live, a dream that you want to see succeed, develop the attitude that you are going to work that dream, never give up, never surrender, give it as long as it is going to take, and build that dream into a reality. And like with bonsai trees, I'm very happy with this one. 15 years, probably. We haven't killed it yet, but there are other trees that I have, unfortunately, made mistakes with and killed. And those dreams have died, but they haven't stopped me from pursuing my greater goal, my greater dream. Sometimes our dreams meet with what Napoleon Hill calls temporary failure. And if you view failure as temporary, just something that happens that you can learn from, something that happens that you can learn your mistakes from, and then apply those lessons in other things, then yeah, that failure is a failure, but it's only temporary. And you can use those lessons learned to help you grow another dream, a better dream, and enjoy success in a much bigger and better way. So, yeah, sometimes our dreams die because we screw up. We make mistakes. We kill that tree unintentionally. But you know what? If we can take the lessons, we can look at the soil, try to find out what did we do wrong, and then take those lessons and apply them to our future dreams and rebuild that dream all over again with the knowledge that we've gained from that temporary failure. Then we can still build that dream out. But it takes diligence, takes patience. You know, a lot of people, they don't like arts like crochet because they think they don't have the patience for it. And I used to think, yeah, crocheting like a tapestry for a wall, crocheting a bedspread for a bed. You know, I've started many myself and gave up because didn't have the patience for that. Now my wife, she has the patience for that. She's made, tapestries. She has made tablecloths, bedspreads. You know, that it's taken her like a couple of years sometimes to create that crochet, but she's got the patience for that, and she has realized her dream because she has the patience to see that dream through to its conclusion. Now, with me, the way I'm wired, I have a similar amount of patience with bonsai trees. And it's like, yeah, another 10 years, this thing is going to be awesome. That's my attitude. But yeah, this is going to be a bonsai grapefruit like no other. But it takes long-term commitment, long-term attitude to making your dream a reality before a dream like that becomes a reality. And I don't know. Will this little bonsai tree one day be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Who knows? Is there a market for bonsai grapefruit? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Haven't really done the research to really be able to say for certain, but I do know I love doing this art, and I'm going to stay committed to it because I love this art. Same way with your dreams. Stay committed to your dream out of love. Stay committed to your dream because you want to nurture it. You want to see it grow. And then if it's something like a business that you can make insanely profitable, more power to you. You know, if you can build a business that's one day worth millions of dollars, maybe even potentially $1 trillion plus, that's great. But start building it out of love. Make it a commitment that you do out of love and stay committed to it. And don't let your dream go to die because you become disillusioned, you become impatient. No, with long-term commitment, long-term attitude, dreams can live, dreams can thrive. And with the right amount of love and care and dedication, you can make your dreams a reality. But never give up too soon. Ralph signing out. Thank you for dropping by, friends.